Hello, and hope we're all doing well. Welcome back to more CSGO news. I think you guys will enjoy today's episode because today we are talking trash about Blast Pro. We've already had a lot of controversy out there about this series in the past. I'm sure you guys are well aware of that. And now at their latest event, or I guess their upcoming event, that's going to be over in LA. Blast LA will be the event, but apparently a brand new venue and a brand new ticket price were not really announced, but actually discovered by people out there who had originally bought tickets for the event for around $25, a little over $30 if you include all the fees, and all of a sudden they were all refunded. Those original ticket buyers were, and they were actually told of a brand new location and a brand new ticket price, now 4 times the original price. Yes, original tickets were around $25. Now single day packages for the brand new venue will be $99 or $149 for the entire weekend. And as you guys can expect, well, rightfully so, people were pretty upset. But I will say one thing about Blast Pro, at least the sideshow, the background stuff they do offer with their packages, it's pretty extreme. It's extenuous list. I would say a pretty good list as well. I feel very bad though for the people who had to find out actually via a refund as an email that their tickets were gone. If people who planned to go to the event, they bought the tickets, they got refunded and had to find out via email it was a brand new location with a ticket price that's pretty extraordinary for an event like this, especially when you consider the capacity of the event as well. Took a huge drop. I'll show you guys the comparison of what the venue is going to be, now it's going to be at the new location. And with that being said, nothing compared to that of Sao Paulo, which I believe that event actually sold out in nearly 12,000 tickets. In doing so, this new LA event, apparently capacity wise, fits 1,000 max. Not to mention, you put a stage in there, you put in all the background crew, the actual crew from Blast Pro, all of the players. It could be less than 800. It's pretty crazy to see all of a sudden they might be struggling to actually sell 1,000 tickets in Los Angeles for an esports event, which is definitely spelling some trouble there. And at these prices, well, I don't know if they're going to sell out even that. And I don't know what you guys think about this. It just seems kind of almost typical Blast Pro, although I think a lot of organizers would have the same approach in not announcing that the prices were, of course, hiked up and the new venue is a lot smaller than typical sizes. It seems a bit scummy, though, to have people find out about this via a refund if they were planning on going for such a cheaper price, and all of a sudden their tickets are refunded and now they have to pay a lot more if they do still want to go. So a bit of a sucky situation, although not sucky though, I will say, is the brand new format now announced, guys. They will be having best of 3 semifinals, which is a huge improvement for this series. Now the best of 1 round robins for group stage will continue to go on, but with that being said, now the top 4 teams will all go to semifinals to play best of 3s to determine the 2 grand final teams. So in terms of that, if they actually keep this format, I would say though that's a huge improvement. Now yes, people are joking about this, saying, oh my gosh, you finally got best of 3 semifinals, congratulations. But either way, with that being said, I think people are getting pretty tired of 2 grand finalists being selected based off best of 1 solely. Now with this being said, the top 4 teams go to semifinals, and those 2 teams who come away from those 2 victories will actually compete in the grand finals as well. I actually do love the format change. The venue itself still offers a list of things. I will link tickets down below for all of you guys, although the price hike has been a bit scummy and certainly met with a bunch of controversy out there. So what do you guys think about that? How do you feel about that? Just adds a bit more of turmoil to the whole Blast Pro situation. And also in big news out there for the TYLOO roster, I know a lot of you guys are probably not Chinese viewers, but still a huge roster change coming their way has now been confirmed as not 1 player leaving the team, but actually 2. It was actually Xcurate we talked about yesterday. Alongside him will be Attacker, who is probably the most projected player to be leaving this team due to stats as well on this roster. They'll both be going, but apparently Xcurate has been having some sort of health issues, and replacing him on the roster will indeed be Freeman to be joining the team, and alongside them a brand new opper, a 19-year-old Chinese player known as Dan King, will be replacing Xcurate in his position, and of course Attacker will be replaced by Freeman on the roster. Now a roster will now almost be halfway different by the time they reach the Asian Minor, which they should have qualified for or likely will sometime this weekend or very shortly as we speak. And with that being said, we could see a TYLOO roster actually not make the major, of course for the first time in quite some time besides when they had visa issues, because this roster change, it's definitely debatable, because this roster has long had communication issues, and of course you do get rid of your worst player. I don't mean to be mean about this. Attacker, though, stats wise was their worst player. You bring in a guy like Freeman who has a lot of open potential, but you lose Xcurate and bring in a young opper, a kind of a, I guess you could say, unexperienced opper at this level as well. And they've already been having communication issues historically speaking for the roster, and Ben Tet does remain to be, I guess you could say, almost the key cause of that communication split off in the roster, so you get to keep him as well. Those communication issues will probably be heightened a little bit with these 2 brand new players being introduced, and again a new roster playing together for the first time in an Asian Minor, which will be very heavily competitive with teams like Avant alongside alongside Greyhound. Of course, another Chinese team will join them as well and compete for just 2 spots to actually go to the major qualifier. So we very well could be seeing a 2019 in a major without TYLOO there, with a brand new roster. And also, lastly, for all of you guys in CSGO news as well, speaking of the Chinese, well, we have a few Chinese pro players out there escaping some VAC bans. Because if you guys remember, this is actually kind of an odd story out there. Now, according to Flora, our Chinese source, apparently a lot of Chinese members on a certain specific server there in the region were actually given a lot of false VAC bans over, I guess you could say, a set certain amount of time over the past few months maybe. One of them was actually originally QZ last year. If you guys remember, QZ is actually the brother of a former TYLOO member, that being DD. He was given a VAC ban several years ago. It resurfaced as an attached account. They were disqualified from a tournament, and ever since that did actually surface, he was properly investigated, and he was then cleared of that VAC ban. Now, also on top of that, as of a couple days ago, I actually think as of 24 hours ago, a new member, that being V4, he plays for a Chinese team known as 8EZ. They lost to TYLOO in a very close best-of-3 series today in the Asian closed qualifier for their minor, so they are a pretty, I guess you could say, solidified roster there in the Chinese scene. One of the members, that being V4, he was also given a VAC ban and also sequentially cleared of said VAC ban. So it's very weird to see when it comes to Perfect World / Chinese CSGO, these VAC bans for pro players. Now, again, according to Flora, though, our Chinese source, several pro players in the Chinese scene, as well as popular streamers and popular players, were all given false VAC bans. So a little bit of explanation there needed. But with that being said, we rarely see, compared to the Perfect World Chinese CSGO, to our version of CSGO, pro players with VAC bans actually being cleared of them. In terms of course, most recent cases as well, we have Config apparently having a VAC ban, which has never really been addressed. We have other players out there like Robin, one of the very few pro players in CSGO history who has actually been cleared of his VAC ban, which took 4 whole years. So very weird to see a Chinese CSGO scene giving out VAC bans so freely and then taking them back when it comes terms of their pro players. Are they cheating? Highly unlikely, but it's kind of a weird story nonetheless to talk about. And that's gonna do it for CSGO news. Man, I am tired today, guys. I do apologize. Only a few stories there in CSGO news. I'll be back here tomorrow, though. Friday's a big day. Monday's gonna be a big day as well, breaking down CSGO results for all of you. I'm hitting a little bit of a wall today, so thank you guys all for leaving comments, all the likes and stuff this week. It's been a crazy week, but I'll be back here tomorrow. We got some big CSGO stories and some even bigger esports stories. Thank you all for enjoying all the content. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Until then, you know the deal. Take care of yourselves. Drink water, drink coffee, and I'll see you guys here in the morning.